morning. We are carrying on today, Tuesday the 9th of June, with The Lighthouse Keeper's Lunch, the book that we started yesterday about Mr. Grinling and his lighthouse. But one Monday, something terrible happened. Mrs. Grinling had prepared a particularly appetising lunch. She had made a mixed seafood salad, a lighthouse sandwich, cold chicken, sausages and crisps, peach surprise, iced sea biscuits, drinks and assorted fruit. So a brilliant picnic. She put the lunch in the basket as usual and sent it down the wire. Have a think. What do you think the terrible thing that happened might be? So again, you're using your prediction skills. What do you think the terrible thing that is talked about up here, but one Monday something terrible happened? What do you think that terrible thing is? Okay, so again, there is no right answer for this. It's completely up to you as the reader what you think the terrible thing is that happened. Okay, so if you could send those answers into Mrs. Upton, she would love to see those. You could just take a photo. If you've written it in your book, take a photo, ask mum or dad to take a picture on their phone and email it in. But the lunch did not arrive. It was spotted by 3 scavenging seagulls who set upon it and devoured it with great gusto. "Clear off, you varmints!" shouted Mr. Grinling, but the seagulls took not the slightest notice. This seagull here. "This is an excellent peach surprise, boys. She's a great cook, Fred. Scrumptious lunch, Tom." So these seagulls are talking between themselves. I've underlined these words, scavenging and devoured. Does anyone know what they mean? If you don't know what they mean, that's absolutely fine. And you can often look for clues in the text, okay, to see what word would make sense. Scavenging actually means 3 scavenging. So if you've been to the beach before, okay, and you have had some fish and chips or an ice cream, you will find that seagulls often scavenge. So scavenge means that they are on the lookout for any bits that are dropped, any bits of food that they can swoop down and steal. Okay, so scavenging is another word for searching or looking. Okay, and they're really hungry. They'll do anything to get that food. Okay, and this devoured. They set upon it and devoured it with great gusto. Devoured means they ate it. Okay, so they gobbled it up. They devoured it. They ate it really, really fast because it was delicious. How do we know, as the reader, that Mr. Grinling is angry without using the pictures? Okay, so we can tell. I'm going to draw a circle around Mr. Grinling. And he is angry. We can tell he's shaking his fist at them. He's got a really angry face. I'm going to ask you to forget that picture. Okay, pretend you've not seen it. I want you to look at the text here and here. And we're being asked, how do we know as the reader, we are the reader. How do we know that Mr. Grinling is angry about this situation without using the pictures? So, start your answer, pause and have a go. Okay, good job. We know that Mr. Grinling is angry because we're looking for clues in the text then. So, clear off, you varmints. Varmints isn't a very nice word, okay? To call someone a varmint isn't very nice. So that gives us the impression he's angry. He's not very happy with these seagulls. Another big clue is shouted. He doesn't say, "Clear off, you seagulls." It doesn't say, "Clear off, you seagulls," said Mr. Grinling. The author has specifically chosen this vocabulary, varmints, shouted, to portray to us, the reader, that Mr. Grinling is really, really cross and really angry. Okay. That evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grinling decided on a plan to baffle the seagulls. "Tomorrow I shall tie the napkin to the basket," said Mrs. Grinling. Of course, my dear, agreed Mr. Grinling. A sound plan. Then the seagull down here. They'll have to try harder than this to stop us, Bert. So it looks to me like the plan has not worked. They've just taken off the napkin and they have carried on diving into Mr. Grinling's lunch. So again, he's not going to be very happy. What does the word baffle mean? Baffle. What does the word baffle mean? Let's find it. So that evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grinling decided on a plan to baffle the seagulls. If you don't know, again, look at the context of the word, have a go. The word baffle means to confuse. Okay? So if we change that word to confuse, would it make sense? Let's have a look. That evening, Mr. and Mrs. Grinling decided on a plan to confuse the seagulls. Yes, it would make sense. Okay, so baffle is the same, it's got the same meaning as confuse. They were trying to trick or confuse the seagulls. On Tuesday, Mr. and Mrs. Grinling racked their brains for another plan. They are a brazen lot, those seagulls, said Mrs. Grinling. Brazen indeed, said Mr. Grinling. What shall we do? Our cat does not appear to like seagulls, said Mrs. Grinling. No, my dear, said Mr. Grinling. Hamish is an accomplished seagull chaser. Of course, exclaimed Mrs. Grinling. Tomorrow Hamish can guard the lunch. A most ingenious plan, agreed Mr. Grinling. Hamish did not think that this plan was ingenious at all. He spat and hissed as Mrs. Grinling secured him in a basket. There, Hamish, said Mrs. Grinling consolingly. I'll have a tasty piece of herring waiting for you when you arrive home. So, you've got lots of questions here. Why did Mr. and Mrs. Grinling decide to put Hamish in the basket? Do you think he was happy about it, and what gives you this impression? So 3 questions really to answer there. Okay. Pause the video, have a go, using your sentence stems. Okay, so Mr. and Mrs. Grinling put Hamish in the basket because he is an accomplished seagull chaser. So they thought he would chase the seagulls away. So, do you think he was happy about it? I think he was not very happy about it because he spat and hissed as Mrs. Grinling secured him in the basket. Okay. She was having to bribe him. She had to say to him that he'd have a tasty piece of fish when he came back. Well done.
Morning everybody, I hope you're ready for today's maths lesson. It's Tuesday today. We're going to start off by warming up our brains with our Flashback 4. So remembering that these are things that we've already done at some point this year. So pause the video, have a little go, and then come back to me and we'll go through our answers together. Off you go. Okay, brilliantly. Let's have a look at your answers. So remembering here, how many children cycled on Thursday? Our bike is 2 children. So that's 2, 4 and half a bike. Half of 2, 1. So hopefully you notice that there are 5 children who cycled on Thursday. Draw tally marks to represent 16. Here you go. A 5, a 5, a 5 and a 1 for our 16. Hopefully you remembered how to do that from your lessons with Mrs. Mulliner this year. Okay, how many 2p coins are the same as 20p? I wonder how many of you drew this out. There are 10 2p coins in 20p because 20 divided by 2 is 10. 13 add 8. Yep, absolutely right. It's 21, everybody. So today's learning is all about adding and subtracting, adding 2-digit numbers today. So make sure your pen and paper are ready so that you can join in with all of the examples and activities as you go through the learning video. Come back to me if you want some more practice at the end and I'll go through some extra with you. But see you on the other side. Bye.
Oh no! The eggs are rolling everywhere. We're doing adding 2-digit numbers today. But first, let's sort these eggs out. Dexter's dad said there should be 11 altogether. Oh, that's right. 10 in the egg box and one more. That's 11, isn't it? Here's a base 10, and this is a 10 rod. Here are some ones. What do you notice? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's right. 10 ones are equal to 1 10. There's the 11th egg. Yeah, it can't join on. 10s have to stay on their own. 10's a bit of a magical number, really. We have 0 and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're all digits on their own in the ones place. But as soon as we get 10, we move into the tens place. This 1 here shows us that we've got 1 egg left over, or 1 cube left over. But this is a 1 as well. They look exactly the same. But this is showing us we've got 1 10, or 1 box of 10 eggs, or 1 10 rod. So actually I can get rid of those 10 ones and I can replace it with the 10. I've got 1 10 and 1 1, which is 11 altogether. Here are some 1-digit numbers and some 2-digit numbers. What's the difference between the 1-digit numbers and the 2-digit numbers? That's right, those 2-digit numbers have got that yellow 10, haven't they? They're made up of a 10 and some 1s. Or 14 is made up of 1 10 and 4 1s. 10 is made up of 1 10 and 0 1s. That's what that 0 is for. It shows us there's no 1s. If we want to add 3 and 10, it's very simple really. We think about our 10s and 1s, and we put our 10s under the tens place, and we put our 1s under the ones place. Watch very carefully the 0 that's in the ones place at the moment when the 3 comes along. Did you see it was replaced? There were 0 ones, and now there's 3 ones. 10 plus 3 is equal to 13. Here's 10 plus 4. What's that equal to? Well done. 14. 1 10 and 4 1s. A bit more difficult now. 7 plus 12. Think about our 10s and our 1s. The 10s go into the tens place, the 1s go into the ones place. We've got 2 at the moment in the ones place. Watch what happens when the 7 come along. There's not 2 1s anymore, and there's not 7 1s anymore. Now there are 9 1s. Here's some for you to have a go at. Remember to think about your 10s and 1s. You can use base 10 if you like. You could even use eggs in egg boxes. Or you can draw the 10s as sticks and the 1s as dots. Pause the video here and have a go. How did you get on with those? We've got 17 and 19. 19 plus 1 here. Oh, I've got a feeling this is going to be interesting. Put my 1s together, but I've got 10 1s. How do I write 10 1s in the 1s place? Oh, I don't. Look at that. The 10 1s, when I put them together, are equal to the 1 10. So now I've got 2 10s? Yes, that seems right. I've got 2 10s and no 1s. So 19 plus 1 is equal to 20. Here's a couple for you to have a go at. Pause the video here while you have a try. How did you get on with those? So you made 20 as well, and in the next one you made 2 10s, but you had 1 left over, so 21. Here's some more to have a go at. Pause the video here to have a try. How did you find those? Here are the answers. We've calculated that 13 plus 8 is equal to 21. But how does that look in the written formal method? Well, the first thing we need to do is think about our 10s and our 1s. We start off with our 1s, so we'll push those together and count how many there are. And there are 11 1s. Because there's more than 9, we can exchange to make a block of 10. So we are left with a block of 10 and 1 1. My number 11 is going to move into my formal method now, and you'll see that one of the 1s goes into the 1s column and the 110 goes into the 10s column, just underneath where I'll write my answer, and we'll come back to that later. Now I have a look at my 10s column, and there's 1 10 in there and there's 1 10 underneath, so altogether there are 2 10s. 13 plus 8 is equal to 21. Here's one for you to have a go at. We know 31 plus 19 is equal to 50, but let's see if we can set it out properly. If you've got base 10, then you can use that, or if you want to draw sticks and dots, that's a good idea too. Pause the video here to have a go. How did you get on? Did you write the 31 plus 19? And did you see that the 1s sum to 10? And when we put that 10 into our formal method, we get 0 in the 1s column, and the 10 goes into the 10s column. So now when we add up our 10s column, we've got 3 10s plus 1 10 is 4 10s. What? 4 10s? No, 4 10s isn't correct. Ah, I've forgotten the 10 underneath the answer bar. 3 10s plus 1 10 plus another 10 from underneath makes 5 10s. 31 plus 19 is equal to 50. Here's 4 more for you to have a go at. Are you getting quite good at these now? Here's the answers. And that brings us to the end of this lesson.
So I hope you all did okay with your adding of 2-digit numbers. This is your extra practice if you want it. Remember that you don't have to do this. It's just if you're looking for some extra to do today. If you are, then have a little look at what we've got on the screen. Pause the video and come back to me when you want the answers. Good luck, everybody. Okay, so let's have a little look. So here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we've got 10 1s, and 10 1s is the same as 1 10. Here we've got a few more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. We've got 14 1s. And that's the same as 1 10 and 4 1s. Okay, looking at these ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So we've got 17 1s, which is the same as 1 10 and 7 1s. Have a go at these for me and come back when you're ready with the answers. Okay, super. So complete the additions. We've got 7 ones plus 5 ones equals 12 ones. So this is this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. 7 ones and 5 ones equals 12 ones. So 12 ones is the same as 1 10 and 2 ones. Okay. Then we're having a look in the next column. So 4 tens plus 1 10 equals 5 tens. So then we've got 47 plus 15 equals 62. 47 plus 16 equals 62. Well done if you managed to work out all of those. That can be a bit complicated and a bit tricky. Have a little look at these. Come back to me with the answers. Okay, here are our answers for these questions then. So we've got 7 add 4 equals 11. 10 add 30 equals 40. 17 plus 34 equals 51. 19 plus 21 equals 40. 18 plus 64 equals 82. 37 plus 14 equals 51. 22 plus 19 equals 41. 48 plus 19 equals 67. 33 plus 29 equals 62. And 39 plus 47 equals 86. Now you might have done those using a written method. You might have done your lines and your dots for your base 10. You might have even made yourself some base 10 with Lego or something like that in order to help you to work out the answers to these questions. However you got there, well done. And if you didn't get one of them right, make sure you pause the video and have another little go at it, because remember, we can all learn from the mistakes that we make. Having a look at this next question, writing the addition down, it's 46 add 15 equals 61. And then it says, what does the little 1 represent? Can you remember from the video? It's 110. Well done, everybody. And the last part for today is to use that written method for addition and have a little go yourself. Come back to me when you are ready for the answers. Good luck. Okay, here we go then. So 57 add 12 equals 72. 7 and 5 is 12, so that's a 2 ones and 1 10. 5 tens and 1 10 is 6 tens, plus that extra one is 7 tens, 72. Question B, 8 plus 9 is 17. 7 ones and 1 10. 1 10 and 1 10 is 2 tens. Add 10 underneath, 3 tens. So then we've got 37. 7 plus 3 is 10. So I've got no ones and 1 10. And then I've got 1 10, add 7 tens, add 1 10. 7, 8, 9 tens, 90. And then for D, I've got 3 plus 9, which is 12, 1 10 and 2 ones. And then I've got 6 tens, and 1 10, that's 7 tens. And this one, 8 tens, so my answer's 82. Fill in the missing digits to complete the number sentence. You could have chosen a different one, but let's have a look. We've got 29 plus 33 equals 62. So you could have chosen slightly different tens numbers. How many different answers did you find? Well done for some brilliant learning today. If you're looking for some extras to do online, remember we've got Times Table Rockstars, we've got the Oxford Owl activities, and we've got top marks that we use in school. Have a brilliant rest of the day, and I'll be back with more of your maths tomorrow. See you later. Bye.
Okay, Tuesday, what do you think our new spelling rule is? Have a read of these words. I'm going to ask you to pause me in a second. Have a look at these words and think about what sound are you hearing. Read them out loud, say them out loud. What sound are you hearing over and over again? What sound do you hear? So pause me now, read the words out. What sound can you hear? So it's the television, treasure, unusual, measure, pleasure, decision, vision, leisure, version, visual. So we've kind of got that zh It almost needs a ZJH, doesn't it? It sounds more like a zh or y sound. Either way, that sound that you can hear there, I want you to underline where that zh sound comes in each of the words. So I want you to write the word out. So you're going to write television. Which letters make that zh sound? Treasure. Unusual. Usual. Measure. Okay, so pause me now. Where do you write these words out and underline where you hear that zh sound? So some of the ideas that we've had from you guys, from your CC work, you've said that it could have been, we could be the Co-op, the St Michael's Fish Bar, it could be Georgie's Fish and Chip Shop, Casey May, I know that was one that came from you. We've got Redbrook Hayes, it could be in and around there. It could be the power station that you can see at the back of Redbrook Hayes. It could be the Red Lion at Brereton. It could be the church that we all go to sing our carols and celebrate. And it could be anywhere else, and all of the other places that you've told us. So where might Flat Stanley go next on an adventure where we live in our local area? So I want you, like I did with the park, I want you to pick another area and make your own story mounting about it, okay? So we're going to be doing an extended piece of writing, which means we want lots of detail. We want all that gorgeous detail, and we would love it if Stanley could go to 2 different places. So you're going to introduce your place. You're going to move further into that place. You're going to encounter a problem there. You're going to figure out the problem, and then the problem is going to be gone and finished, and you're ready to go on to your next adventure. Now, when you're writing your Flat Stanley story, feel free to use the example that I've given about the park. So you can use my example as a structure of what I want it to be looking like. So we have the opening of going to the park and playing on some of the fun things there. The build-up where all of a sudden the water catches my eye and I see that there's a shark in there. Then I have my problem. So it's the shark's coming at me and I'm going to get eaten. Then the resolution. So I find the net to keep me safe and I manage to throw the net over just in the nick of time. And then I call my uncle, who I know has got a great big wagon with a big tank on it, and we managed to get the shark to safety. So I want you to pick a place that isn't the park. We've already got the park as my example, so you can use that for your story. This is so that you can take the story on further. I want you to use an example of where could Flat Stanley go next in Brereton, and what problem might he meet there. So I want you to draw your story mountain. What do you see to begin with? Wherever you are in Brereton, what do you see to begin with? How can you build that up? Do you get drawn towards the problem? Then there's the big problem. What have you got to face? It might be a good problem. There might be loads of food to eat. It might be something really positive at the Red Lion. It might be something not so good. Maybe you get locked in the church. Maybe you go up to the bell tower and you get stuck there because the vicar doesn't know that you're in there and locks you in. I don't know, but then there's a problem. So how do you solve that problem, and how do you get out of it at the end? What's the resolution? How do you finish that? What happens at the end? How's that problem overcome? So you've got my example of the park. You can use that in your story as your first example, but then this is going to be your independent bit. So you're going to follow the same structure as mine, but you're going to be using all your own ideas. So that's what I want you to do today, guys. I want you to draw your story mountain and put what happens at the beginning and how you build to your problem, and I want you to draw it and write keywords like I did with the park one. Okay, that is your Tuesday job for today. Hello guys, so I am setting you some CC work for the next 2 weeks, and I've got a primary project and then some secondary projects, and they all kind of link in together. But the one thing that I'm hoping you'll be able to have by the end of these 2 weeks is the primary project, and then the secondary projects kind of link into it. So our topic for Connected Curriculum is still exploring Britain, and some of you have done some amazing exploration of Britain, so well done, you'll have already had a head start.
if you want to have a look at this in more detail and you feel like there isn't quite enough here, there's loads of meat for you to get your teeth into on the website. So you can go to our school homepage and you will find it there. If you can think of some more amazing ideas on how to explore Britain, then do that. You are not confined to just doing this. These are just some ideas. So, this is a little overview. I don't know if you want to have a pause here. I'm not going to go through it all, and have a little read of what it is that the areas that we need to be looking at. Okay, so if you want to have a look at that, pause now. Here's the primary activity. So this is what I would love for you to complete, and it's going to link into our English work as well. So if you can complete this, I would love it. So the primary activity, can you make a map of Britain and draw and label some of the physical and human features? So I don't know if you've got any old wallpaper that you could kind of roll out and do it on the back of. I've got some parcel paper that I would know that I would be able to do this on. I don't know if you can kind of get some cardboard boxes, maybe some cereal boxes, and stick them together. I don't know. Is there a way that we could kind of make it on some old wrapping paper? I don't know, but can we make this a large scale something? Because how I'm imagining it in my head is that it could be brilliant. It could be a really exciting, brilliant project that you could bring into school, and we could put this on the wall in our classroom, and it'll almost like fill a whole wall, won't it? So you can draw it, you can make some models. I was thinking maybe some little salt dome models that you could put on there, or some Play-Doh models as well. That shows your understanding. Maybe you've got some little toys, maybe you've got a fire engine or a police engine, and you could go down into Rugeley and you could draw the different fire stations. But I don't know, it is up to you. However you want to do it, there are no rules, but I would love for you to draw and label a map of Britain and Rugeley. What I thought would be a good idea is if you drew your house first. So that's the thing that you know best. So if you kind of draw that first, and then does anybody you know live close by you, kind of build up the houses in and around, and then move it a bit further. So start from the house, start from the people you know and the street that you're in, and build up from there. That's how I would do it. Anyway, if you might have a different idea, and your ideas are always better than mine, so that's just where I think I would start. And then once you've done those, you can start to add in some of the man-made features, can't you? So you can start to add in some of those places that we're going to be looking at in our English as well. It all ties in. So if you could do this alongside that, we're going to be nailing our learning. So you can add in some of these man-made features. And then are there any natural spaces? I know a lot of you have got the green in and around by your house. So where's that? Think about where that is. Is it behind your house? Is it to the right, to the left? Imagine that you're a bird flying above where you live, above Britain and above Rugeley, and you can see but down below you. So it's a bird's eye view that you're going to be doing. So, like I said, you may want to make your map using crayons, paints, felt pens, models, toys, however you want to do it. I also thought a nice idea might be if you go out for a walk, if you're saying, oh, where is that? And trying to figure it out with your mums and dads, you might want to take a picture if they've got a printer at home, and they might be able to print out some of the pictures and stick it onto the map. That might be a big job, and some mummies and daddies might go, I have not got the capacity to do that. Don't pressure them. So don't go, oh, but Mrs. Upton said. It's just an idea. If that sounds fun for you and your family, it has to work for you all. So if that's not a good idea, then there's loads of other good ideas that you can use. So your primary activity, the one connected curriculum thing that I would love for you to do over the next 2 weeks is create a map. You might not get it all done in one day. Pop it away, get it back out. When there's a little lull, you're thinking, what should I do? Oh, my map. I'll work on my map. Okay, because I want to see these. I don't just want the email. I want them coming into school. So that is your primary activity. If and when you finish that, we have some secondary activities. Okay, so once your map is complete, we have some secondary activities. So one of our objectives for our geography is to find a small town like Britain in a different part of the UK. And Katie Morag on CBeebies is a good person. So maybe you can have a little search on the CBeebies app, and maybe you can have a little look at some of the episodes. Can you find somewhere that is similar to Britain or really different? And can you I don't mind how you present it to me. You might want to do some writing, you might want to do a drawing of Britain and a drawing of wherever Katie is. Whatever you want to do to show me how Britain is similar and dissimilar to somewhere that you've seen. It doesn't need to be somewhere that Katie's been. It can be anywhere, okay? It might be somewhere that you've been on holiday. It might anywhere. You can compare any way that you want, okay? Also, I thought another nice idea along the geography theme would be to add some geographical vocabulary. So words like beach, cliff. I'm not sure there's many cliffs or coasts in Britain. You might want to add a little one on the edge somewhere just so you can do some of your geographical vocabulary. The sea, you might want to add some sea or ocean, river, soil. We've got a canal, haven't we? I know there's an allotment as you go past the plum pudding up there. So there's vegetation up there. So I thought it might be a nice idea to add a map, and I've given you a little example at the bottom, so there's a map key there. So it might be that you want to add in some little bits to your map, and rather than it might be a bit overcrowded on your map, to write them just in one corner of the map, so that if someone's looking at it, they'll go, oh, okay, there's a park there, and Mrs. Upton's key for the park is this. So you can add a key to your map. And then I thought your third secondary activity, you can do any of these, they don't have to be in this order. The map's the primary and then all of these are secondary. I was thinking it might be a nice idea if we thought about a monument, something that we could put together to show how we have come through this very tricky time. We're still kind of in the midst of it at the moment, aren't we? But we're living through history right now. In years to come, if you have children and when you're all grown-ups and you're looking back, this will be taught. People will talk about this and we will be in the history books, and you'll be able to Google it and go, no way, that never happened, did it? Really? So I thought it might be a really nice idea if we tried to think of a monument. You had a look, Mrs. Munder sent you some CC last time, didn't she? And it was doing the Angel of the North. Well, I thought, could we think of a monument that represents everything that we're going through right now? Is there a way that we could do a monument that shows everybody what we're going through right now? Can you make it, or can you draw what you'd want it to be like? And then can you mark where you would put it so that most people would see it on your map? And have a think about why you'd put it there on your map. Would you put it there because it's a quiet place and people can go to it if they've lived through it and they're finding it tricky? Would you put it somewhere like the miners in town near Sea Residential, where you've got the 4 miners on the island near to the petrol garage and Burger King? That's in a place where loads of people see it and they can be reminded of where our town and community was built from. It was built on the mining community, a lot of it. So where would you put your monument? On this page, I've got some ideas. So these are some different monuments, just as some ideas. You can have a little search of what you think a good idea for a monument might be, and you could draw it. Now remember, a monument is inspiring and positive. We want to show how we are going to come through this stronger and better than before. So it needs to be when you look at it, you think it gives you a message. It's a powerful message. That was a really tricky time, and look, we came through it. Look how strong we are. So if you can design something that screams out empowerment and then talk about where it can go on your map, I'd love to see that. Good job, guys.